Now, the final day of the debate saw members from the ruling party argue that there was little difference between the proposals of the Workers' Party and the review committee. But this was rejected by the Workers' Party.
We started from the top, worked our way down. They started from the bottom, worked their way up, but we arrived at the same place.
This statement by MP 18Jan Raja summed up the opinion of the People's Action Party MPs over the alternative benchmark set out by the Workers' Party. Under its plan, ministerial salaries will be pegged to that of senior civil servants, while the review committee's proposal was to link salaries to top earners in the private sector.
Pegging it to the public sector sounds good at first glance. But it does not count because the public sector too derives from that market peg. Empirical reality is that the same pool of people flow to either side. I suggest that we are, in many ways, on the same song sheet.
Workers' Party MP Pritam Singh disagreed. The difference, he said, is one of principle.
We in the Workers' Party believe that choosing the appropriate benchmark is critical as it sends an unmistakable signal when the principles behind your salary peg is at a level the average Singaporean can empathize with and aspire to. In doing so, we believe that the emotions that have justifiably bedeviled the debate on political salary over these decades will finally be assuaged.
The Workers' Party was also asked why it did not release details of the party's recommendations to the committee.
The Workers' Party decided to hold back some of their proposals, which they say were meaningful, because they wanted to come to the House and announce to everyone they have better ideas. In short, they put their party's interests before Singapore's interests.
If we had not wanted the interest of the nation, we won't even have gone to answer the committee's call for inputs. We'll just have withheld everything. When the committee's proposals came out, there were many more details that we could not have foreseen.
Amid the heat of political debate, one thing many did agree on was that political salaries is an emotive issue. As MP 18Jan Raja pointed out, the issue is not one of logic, economics or formulas because the salaries being debated are far beyond the reach of the majority of Singaporeans. She says the key now is for ministers to show that they are deserving of their pay, and it all boils down to how well their policies meet the needs of Singaporeans.
Now, Deputy Prime Minister Teo Chee Hean's 45-minute speech was followed by a spirited exchange between him and the Workers' Party's Gerald Giam. And joining us from the newsroom to tell us more is S. Ramesh. Ramesh?
Well, the exchange centred on the Workers' Party's proposal to peg an MP's allowance to a senior civil servant on the MX9 superscale grade, and if Mr. Giam understood the implications of doing so.
The MX9, and in fact all civil service salaries, are benchmarked against the closest comparables that we can find in the market. But does Mr. Giam accept that the MX9 superscale grade doesn't represent the civil service at large and the general wage levels of Singaporeans?
Mr. Giam.
I thank you for explaining about the MX9 formula. That is not something that we had privy to, the exact formula for MX9, but so I have no choice but to accept that the formula that DPM has proposed, the DPM has revealed in this House regarding what the MX9 is pegged to. And so does the DPM agree that that the top 1,000 earners in Singapore are, or rather the MX9 is pegged to a lower level than what is in the top 1,000 earners in Singapore?
But I'm a bit perturbed by what Mr. Giam has just revealed. First of all, he revealed that he really didn't know what the MX9 superscale grade was, but then he's based his entire system and proposition on this.
Now, separately, former Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew has defended the need for a competitive ministerial pay. In a letter to the media, Mr. Lee said, unless Singapore has a steady stream of people to serve as ministers, Singapore as a little red dot will become a little black spot. He pointed out that Singapore did not get from third world to first by headhunting ministers willing to sacrifice their children's future when undertaking a public service duty. Mr. Lee added that Singapore must not be reduced to another ordinary country in the third world by dodging the issue of competitive ministerial remuneration. Back to you.
Right, thanks Ramesh for all those updates. Now, MP Inderjit Singh and NCMP Gerald Giam will be appearing on our sister network Channel News Asia tonight for a panel discussion on the political pay review, and it airs live at 10:20 p.m. So do watch out for it. Now, coming up.